So maybe just to kind of start the discussion, how has maybe the development of autonomous vehicles or technologies impacted operator interface designs, if at all, yet in the industry?
Yeah, we're seeing lots of different types of equipment, from large agricultural to heavy duty to smaller equipment, more on a commercial. I can't. There's a couple of things I have to stay away from a disclosure information, but
Yeah.
just let's say smaller equipment that have adopted a dual role, where there's autonomous feature and there's fully manual features. So we're seeing a lot of equipment adopt what they consider a conditional autonomy in many of the applications. So, this is kind of bringing a need for the ability for equipment to shift from one mode of operation to the other mode of operation of autonomy.
Mhm. Okay.
So, okay. So, I don't know, it kind of leads me to the other question. So
No, that's fine.
okay. So, if the main thing that we're seeing is that is in a lot of the equipment that we're seeing is that the ability to shift between the two.
Mhm.
So this then um, um, adds features, takes away some features, makes some features more important, and I can kind of list those in some of the further questions
Mhm.
that I kind of touch on some of those things in the additional questions.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe what changes could there be that are needed to operator interface solutions as
Okay.
autonomous systems become more prevalent?
Yeah, one of the things we're seeing is that in a lot of the human machine interfaces that need to have a autonomous mode or a manual mode, is that there's a need for greater intuitive operation, meaning there needs to be greater feedback if it's in um, manual mode, and
Mhm.
then there's also a need for greater feedback if it's in autonomous mode, so that it could be so that a piece of equipment can operate safely. There's a great need to understand what mode the equipment is in. So we find that there's a lot of visual indication, could be audible
Mhm.
indication, but to have HMI and human machine interface products and components that are adaptable is really something that we're seeing. Customers are really appreciating that, because if products can be utilized in both modes, or if you have products that can support the features of both modes, that's been really helpful.
Mhm. Okay. And so have you guys, or do you anticipate maybe there being an impact if at some point operator cabs are removed from a piece of equipment, and that impacting operator interface designs in any way? And what might a company like EAO do to adapt
Mhm.
to that change?
Okay. Well, we're seeing um, a small amount of equipment, small percentage of equipment adopt full autonomy or full
Mhm.
autonomous mode. This is equipment that acts more like a drone. It follows an operated piece of equipment. Say for an agricultural application.
Mhm.
So we're seeing some of that, but that we think is going to be a small percentage
Okay.
of product that is fully autonomous. What we're seeing as I indicated further, is that there's a need for dual mode operation, and even when something is fully autonomous, we're seeing a need for remote control. So
Mhm.
for us, the remote control feature of something that might be autonomous is also the human machine interface. It could be a pendant that is connected wirelessly to that piece of equipment. So we're seeing some need for remote pendant operation for the fully autonomous equipment.
Mhm.
For the equipment that is um, able to be configured between manual and autonomous, we're seeing the need also in those cases for the ability to have feedback and the ability for the operator to understand which mode the product is in, and also in those applications, a pendant is also required because if you want to operate an autonomous, sometimes utilizing it through a control or an operator interface pendant is the preferred way. So we're seeing an increase. One of the things that EAO is doing is we're developing product that is now going to meet that is going to comply with functional safety, and the ISO spec is 26262. That's derived from an IEC spec called 61508, and basically this applies to electronic systems. What this does is it allows a manufacturer, say, has a piece of equipment that operates, and if you're utilizing components that comply with ISO 26262, it minimizes the risk. So if you, for example, you have a piece of equipment that you absolutely know that when you actuate the control panel, did that piece of equipment do what it's supposed to do? Did it operate in a safe way? So us as a manufacturer to be able to bring product that meets functional safety to the marketplace allows the end customer, well, not the end customer, but the manufacturer, to be able to minimize risk. And so we're seeing that as part of how things are adapting for us. We'll have our Series 09 product later this year. Our Series 09 CAN-based product will comply with ISO 26262.
Okay. And that'll be important as vehicles become more automated, vehicles and systems become more automated?
It's part of it, yeah. I mean, if you have a pendant, you really should have product that is compliant, so that you know that when you're operating the pendant, the products that you're designing into this pendant have been built and comply with ISO 26262. It's ISO 26262 encompasses design and manufacture and just safe operation, so that when the product gets designed into a piece of equipment like a remote control, for example, you want to be sure that you're working with product that is going to maintain a safe environment.
Right. Okay. And so maybe what are some opportunities for operator interface manufacturers like EAO as vehicles and systems do become more automated and that continues to grow within the heavy equipment industries?
Well, one of the things that we've seen is that there's been an increase in the need for status indication. So this is status indication while you're in manual mode, and then status indication while it's in some remote mode, so that from across a field, across a distance, you can tell what is the machine doing. So you have a visual indication. There's also a necessity for a lot of this equipment to be put into a learn mode or a teach mode, so that it can actually learn what it's supposed to do when the operator is not there. So it's a training mode, So there's added features like that a lot of this dual purpose or dual functioning equipment, we're seeing these added features be just as important as the start stop button. You need these features to be able to operate these new modern features. So this requires HMI components to be adaptable and to have really to have a wide range of options. And that's part of what EAO has always done, is we've brought a wide range of product to from various sizes and shapes and colors, and these are the types of things that differentiate an HMI's design, so that you can safely operate different features, and it can be differentiated on the control panel. And this way here you can this way here it gives you a little bit more of an intuitive operation for the operator. Our Series 09 CAN keypads and cursor controls have this illumination options with halo illumination and symbol illumination and RGB illumination, so you can synthesize really whatever color you prefer over the CAN bus. So if you have unique colors or if you have variations of colors, and then we have the ability to mark these Series 09 products with the graphical symbols that are found in the ISO 7000 database. So we have access to all the various symbols that are necessary for most applications, and then we can also do custom symbols. But most of the symbols necessary to identify the features are in the ISO 7000 database.
Okay. And so how might the role of operator interface solutions just in general evolve in the coming years, just like I said, in general, and or due to automation, the increase of automation in the industry?
Well, it kind of summarizes many of the questions that we've addressed. I think one of the things that we're seeing a vast amount of equipment bring conditional automation or part-time autonomy into their equipment, whether this equipment is going to operate on its own or operate in a follow mode or operate or in a manual mode. So this will require operators to be able to human machine interface operators and human machine interface manufacturers to be able to provide solutions that are good for autonomous mode and for manual mode. As I indicated, there's the requirements are great different, because one is more for status indication while the operator is not present, and then when the operator is present, you need to have allow access to the various controls. So we're developing a lot of product that's based around CAN-based systems, LIN-based controls, so that these are usually serial communication protocols that are prevalent in the vehicles, whether it's CAN Open or J1939, or as I mentioned, LIN. These are all controls that serial interface controls that that we are bringing product into the market that allows for greater visual and audible and flexible designs. That's flexible designs is kind of the it's kind of the core of what we're trying to bring to the market.
Right. Okay. Great.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for providing your insights on the top on HMI designs and how they could evolve and with automation.
Okay. Well, thank you for the opportunity to discuss. If you need anything on the topics or the products that I've mentioned, you could certainly ask Derek, and we can provide whatever imagery you might need to support your process.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and then once I have a chance, I'll let you guys know when the podcast version of the interview is live on the website. I'm thinking maybe early July. With just our schedule of what we have already planned. And then when I have a chance to put the rough draft of the article together, I'll send that over to you guys to review to make sure all the information is reflected accurately, quotes are correct and everything. Just
very good
to do that just to ensure and make sure everybody's good with what.
Yeah, no, very good. Enjoyed the questions, and certainly the process is always fun. So enjoy talking with you, and
you too.
Certainly anything you need from an industry viewpoint, I'm happy to support you.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Okay, great.